They tell us these places were built as temples, tombs, or monuments to forgotten kings. Barabar Caves, they claim, were simple shelters from India's monsoons. But the facts don't match the story. These sites were carved with impossible precision, engineered with resonant stone, and assembled with megaliths so massive they challenge our modern machines. And yet, there are no sarcophagi, no bones, no soot, no ritual debris, no sign that any of these places were meant for the dead. Only a haunting sense of purpose without explanation. Maybe it's time to admit the truth. We're looking at these structures through a lens too small for the world that built them. Because when you step back, when you listen instead of explain, a very different pattern begins to emerge. Across our planet, 8 ancient sites whisper the same secret. Long before history, long before writing, someone mapped the earth with stone, not to worship, not to bury, but to connect. Across the planet, ancient builders tapped into vibration, magnetism, and geometry, long before our civilization even learned to measure them. What if these sites weren't built for gods, but for frequencies, for contact, for something humanity forgot? Some say these sites changed the world. I say they changed the mind. These aren't ruins, they're nodes, switches, pieces of a system we're only beginning to rediscover. If resonance is the key, then the message is still being broadcast. The question is, are we ready to hear it? Someone kept this network hidden. Someone still uses it. And they're not done. Stone remembers what we've forgotten, and it waits. 8 sites, 1 forgotten network. Engineered resonance, magnetic alignment, ancient intention. These places weren't built to honor the dead, but to awaken the living. Some people believe these sites could possibly be part of a resonant network. We will examine 8 sites that defy conventional belief, beginning with a site that asks tens, if not hundreds, of questions about its existence. The Barabar Caves of India. The moment you step inside one of the Barabar Caves, you realize something instantly. These were never carved for shelter, not from monsoons, not from weather, not for anything ordinary at all. Because the deeper you walk, the more the world outside disappears. The granite walls echo with a silence that feels otherworldly, polished so perfectly they reflect light like black glass. This isn't carving. This is engineering. If the goal was simply to survive the rain, our ancestors could have built countless stone huts, shelters, or temples. But instead, they carved entire mountains into geometric chambers with surfaces so smooth. Modern instruments measure them at near mirror precision. Work that today requires industrial tools, diamond cutters, and machine-guided polishers. Yet we're told these caves were shaped over 1,000 years ago with nothing more than copper chisels. It forces us to ask a question we've avoided for too long. What were our ancestors really doing here? And how much of our history have we misunderstood? There was intention when our ancestors carved the caves at Barabar. These chambers were never meant as simple shelter from the rain. They sit atop one of India's oldest cratonic blocks, a zone marked by magnetic anomalies and unusual seismic rigidity, an area where the Earth behaves differently. Granite and craton boundaries conduct vibration in unique ways, amplifying sound, creating standing waves, and allowing low-frequency hums to linger far longer than expected. Inside Barabar, the polished granite walls form a near-perfect acoustic resonator with almost no diffusion. Step inside, even a whisper stretches into something otherworldly, as if the cave itself answers back. Whatever purpose Barabar once served, it was not primitive. It was engineered with a precision we are only beginning to understand. Next up, the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt, where the King's Chamber resonates at 440 Hz and 121 Hz. It isn't a tomb, it's a machine. Perhaps no ancient structure is more iconic than the pyramids of Giza. For centuries, they were labeled as simple tombs for Pharaoh Khufu, a narrative built largely around an empty granite box found in the so-called King's Chamber. Khufu ruled near the time of construction. Therefore, so the story went, the pyramid must have been his tomb. But that explanation has begun to unravel. Modern engineers and archaeologists are reconsidering how these monuments were built and what they were truly for. Some researchers now propose they functioned as ancient power plants, and intriguingly, the King's Chamber resonates in ways strikingly similar to the acoustic effects inside the caves of Barabar. The King's Chamber resonates at 440 Hz and 121. The significance is 440 Hz is known today as Concert A, the standard tuning pitch used for modern music. The ancient Egyptians did not tune music to 440 Hz. That standard wasn't established until the 20th century. So why does the King's Chamber resonate exactly at a modern, perfect A? 440 is a harmonic-rich frequency, meaning it creates stable overtone patterns that sustain extremely well inside stone chambers. It is tied to architectural alignment, cosmic proportions, standing wave harmonics in rectangular granite rooms. When 440 Hz interacts with the chamber, it produces unique harmonic splittings, generating resonant peaks that align with Earth's natural resonances, the Schumann harmonic family, the chamber's own geometry. 121 Hz is the range where sound penetrates tissues. You feel it more than you hear it. The chamber resonates at a frequency mathematically linked to Earth's electromagnetic heart rhythm. The combination is the real secret. When both tones are generated, chanting, toning, devices, etc., the chamber produces beat frequencies. These create pulsing waves that move through the body. Standing wave nodes, lines of stable vibration that appear on the walls and floor. Granite vibration activation. Granite contains quartz, which is piezoelectric electro-responsive, able to convert mechanical vibration into electrical charge. This means the King's Chamber is capable of generating weak electromagnetic fields when vibrating. This is not speculation. It's been measured. Why would a tomb need this? It wouldn't. That's the point. Nothing about this chamber behaves like a burial room. No soot, no inscriptions, no sarcophagus lid, no body, no burial goods. Extreme acoustic perfection. Granite beams that act like tuning forks. Resonance frequencies tied to earth harmonics. The room behaves like an engineered resonance chamber. Likely functions include initiation, consciousness, alteration, sound-based technology, communication, energy generation, healing, a gateway ritual chamber. The evidence points away from a tomb and toward a functional energetic device. 440 Hz activates the structure. 121 Hz activates the human. Together, they activate the system. The King's Chamber wasn't built to bury someone. It was built to resonate someone. Next up, Göbekli Tepe. a site thousands of years older than any other site on the planet, even the pyramids of Giza. Göbekli Tepe isn't built as a rectangle, a hall, or a temple. The oldest enclosures, A, B, C, and especially D, are perfect circles. Not approximate circles, not symbolic circles, engineered circles. Circular rooms naturally amplify sound because vibrations travel the wall and return inward. Sound waves converge toward the center. Standing waves form without being dampened. This is exactly how modern resonance chambers are designed. Coincidence? Unlikely. Step inside, and the air changes. The circular walls catch every whisper, every breath, every heartbeat. Sound doesn't disappear here. It multiplies. The T-shaped pillars act like tuning forks, parallel surfaces that reflect vibration, guiding sound toward the center. And beneath the floor, bedrock cavities amplify the low frequencies until you don't just hear them, you feel them. When you place Göbekli Tepe beside Barabar and the King's Chamber, a pattern emerges. 3 structures, 3 shapes, 1 purpose: to control vibration.